that, there's no telling what's going to pop up. So I got to make sure that I got me regardless. So the stuff that I want to do, I'm going to make sure I cover that. And I'm going to make sure I have plenty to cover whatever the hell freaking pops up.
I like the idea. I understand where it's coming from. It's a very, very communistic, socialistic idea. I understand where he's coming from, but it also means that, it is the responsibility, meaning people don't have the right so much to choose because it's their responsibility to do it for the community. And it's one of those, you're wrong if you don't, you're obligated. You're supposed to do it, which means their rights don't mean a damn thing.
It means that we should feel an obligation to the rest of our community instead of looking at it as all of the problems that are in society can be fixed by the individual just working harder and looking out for themselves.
Yeah, but you're arguing that the problems in society can all be solved by my money.
Not your money. It's the community's money. It's us helping each other.
So there no more individual money. Now it's the community's money.
It's not community money. You individually you have money, but you feel obligated to use some of that money to help your loved ones and not to see them suffer. To build the community up together.
As something people want to do of their own free will, I'm all for this kind of thought and action and everything. I'm all in to participate. As an obligation, as forcing someone to do something against their will, no, man, you have now violated their rights, or I'm using my in this case. You have now violated my rights by saying I have to do this. You're coming at me and taking my shit out of my pocket at gunpoint now.
But it's not that. You're exaggerating it because they're not forced.
That's where it goes.
They can't force you. It's like pulling on your moral values that you should feel obligated to take care of the old. You're already in the gray area.
Why? By saying obligation, you're already in the area of you have to. How long and how far is it before some community votes that now you have to?
Well, it used that quote from JFK where he said, "Ask not what your country can do for you, but ask what you can do for your country."
And I agree with that 100%, as long as it's the free will of the individual. I'm a vampire when it comes to that. If you want to do that, make it of your own free will.
So again, I feel like we should feel obligated to make sure that our community is taken care of, and this is how we fix the problems related to crime, education, healthcare, taking care of the old and the sick, taking care of those that, have physical or mental disabilities. Instead of saying, you pull yourself up by your bootstraps, it's all on you. So, and disregarding all of the systemic issues that push against that, who keep the individuals from having real opportunities. So then screw the government. We can create these opportunities on our own, on a community level, locally. We could take care of our community and do it because we know it's right and it's the good thing to do, and it helps everyone, and we all benefit from it. I was using the example earlier of the taxes, the property taxes that goes to the schools, and a lot of people, there's some arguments on it where they're like, well, I don't even have kids, or I didn't never even attend school, or I'm older now. Why should I have to pay taxes into the school system? It's not benefiting me at all.
Hey, I agree with the fact that anyone over the age of Social Security should not have to pay school taxes.
Okay, well, I'm saying that, that's fine. That's fine. But the school taxes is a good thing. It's a good thing. We all want to have good schools so that the kids, it's about the
It's a good
community.
thing if the government wasn't in control of it.
Well, we can make that argument, but it's a good thing that we have an educated public. We all benefit from that. Do we really want to live in a community?
Remember how much we're saying that it's a good thing next time we start pursuing some of those videos about what they teach in schools.
Well, I mean, that's kind of beside the point. Far as
Occam's razor's edge, I understand.
Yeah, that's we have to look at the nuances in the topic.
I'm keeping
fair.
up the necessary shit talk.
Yeah, so but I don't
I do agree. I do agree with what not trying to change the topic here, but I do agree with what Doc is saying because I feel like if we as the citizens, we are the people that are going to work, that are paying in our taxes, we own a home in a community and we're paying in our taxes. I do think that we should have a say in what's being taught to our kids because if you think about this curriculum, and I'm speaking from somebody that has a spouse that works in the school system, the curriculum in which they teach our kids in public school, it's fucking trash. It is not preparing them for the world that they're going to get ready to go out into.
No, it prepared them for those government tests, which are, lowest common denominator knowledge. I mean, about like 10th grade level.
And I can't argue with that. The teaching to the test, I have a problem with that. They don't teach us how to manage money. They don't teach us how to, they don't teach us all of these things that we need, the skills that we really need to be able to survive. That's the reason why these kids get taken advantage of as soon as they get out of school.
Not even so much as that, bro, but the fact that our kids in the United States are far more behind. The United States, I think, does a lot of things based off of Europe, right? Like the kids in Europe are far more advanced in their curriculum than our kids are here. You know what I'm saying? Just the curriculum, the basic knowledge, the understanding. These kids are not prepared, bro. When you have children that come from elementary school to middle school and on the first day of school they don't know how to use a regular telephone or they can't properly spell their name, we have a problem, bro. And it's showing that the school system is failing and where is our tax dollars truly going to? You know what I'm saying? Like that is total BS. That curriculum and what they're teaching, this whole no child left behind bullshit, is ridiculous, bro. These kids don't know shit, and then all of a sudden they go through middle school, they go through elementary, they go through middle school, being passed along, then they get to high school where the credits really count for them to graduate, and they end up fucking dropping out of school because they don't understand anything, and they're not gonna graduate, so they repeat high school 2-3 times. Now they reach the legal limit where they can't be in high school no more. They fucking drop out, and they don't even have enough common knowledge to pass a GED.
Dude, when I went to HCC, I would say probably somewhere between 40 to 60% of the people there were had to take remedial English and or math classes, including me. Me, a writer, someone who's writing forever, missed one little question on their test. They stuck me in a remedial English class.
Yeah, I had to take those back math classes to.
2 hours in that English class, she looks at me and goes, "Why are you here?"
And it's just because I didn't do well on one of the tests, It was early in the morning. I couldn't find pencils. I remember that day. And all of my shit was based on that shit. And I had to basically go to school an extra freaking year or two.
Math is a foreign language to me. I have problems with it.
So, but what about this, you guys? So what if we could redirect those tax dollars into not these damn Christian freaking schools, these charter schools that where the money is going into, and actually going into like community type schools where they didn't have these teach to the test.
So remove school choice.
I'm not saying remove school choice, but I don't like these.
Okay, you're saying stop funding. Stop. Now, see here.
They're learning even less. They're learning even less in these damn Christian schools.
I actually beg to differ on that. Most of the kids that come out of there are overly intelligent to the part where when they get into the world, they're too smart for their own good and get fucking rolled.
Man, I disagree with that wholeheartedly. They're teaching these
kids. You're worried about the religious part of the curriculum. The rest of the curriculum is actually pretty solid.
Yeah, well, if they're teaching these kids about freaking...
Think about Amina and Yohan that went to a charter school, KIPP Academy, and look how much brighter they are over their peers, bro.
Those schools are good. The KIPPs are good. I'm talking about the
He's anti-religious school.
The religious schools are the ones I'm talking about. And they're teaching these kids about like
they're teaching them whatever religion it is as well as the regular curriculum.
No, they're leaving out a lot of curriculum, and then they're teaching them about this like
see, what's upsetting me is you're focusing on Christian schools. Have you ever looked at the curriculum in one of the other Abrahamic religions schools? You want to see how much is not in those?
And I don't like those either. I don't like the religious schools.
See, the thing is, the charter schools, even if they have their own different curriculum, they still also have to pass those tests.
Those tests are a problem too. I say get rid of them altogether. Teaching to the test.
Then how do we coordinate and understand what minimum skills are amongst grade levels?
We got to find a better way than teaching these kids.
See,
to the
all
test.
you're doing is tearing down. Not a thing you ever say is about how to make things better. It's just we got to stop doing this. This ain't no good. This ain't no good. Now we're into an area of education, a fundamental thing where you can't just tear the system down.
I've done whole shows on explaining it, and I could be getting tired of saying the same things over and over. Freaking we need to teach them how to live. We need to teach them how to be successful in the world.
That's all stuff that everybody that talks about this agrees on. That's nothing new. No one has come up with a better way, though. They're experimenting with things and stuff like that, but you're also having to turn around and go, now that we started privatizing things and stuff like that, which was actually, it was bad for public education, good for education in general. And there are ways, a lot of ways for kids to get in those schools, even without the money.
That is the reason why these inner city schools don't have shit. The teacher has 36 kids in her classroom, and she got to buy her own pencils.
Argue like a headline.
She got to buy her pencils and pens and notebooks.
Here's the thing. Well, that goes. If that's the case, then that means that they are misusing our tax dollars that we pay into, because
that's what they're doing. They're funneling them into these damn private schools because they're saying the private sector can do a good job. But there's data that has shown that is absolutely not true.
They only get money based on the number of students there. It's not like, hey, we're going to give you 20% of this, even though you've got 2% of the students. You get X amount of dollars from the state per student that you teach.
And
Period.
it's funneling money out of the schools, and that's the public schools, and that's why the public schools are crumbling. Period. That's the reason why it sucks there. It's the reason why it's so terrible. And then guess what kind of people is left in these schools? The
And
poorer
guess what?
folks.
And you know what? This has been the repeated thing for at least 40 years that I know of. And you know what? I hear it every year. I see it every year. No one's taking initiative. No one tries to make it better. And all you end up doing is getting teachers, a lot of teachers quitting, and a whole lot of them now coming in actually saying, well, I don't care what so-and-so says, your parents have to say, or anything like this. I'm going to do what I want. This is my class and you're my kids. You got little power trippers on spreading some serious screwed up crap now, mixed in with a whole lot of people that are actually trying to do good.
And I mean, you have to pay for talent. You're not paying these teachers. You're not giving them the tools they need to succeed.
Well, shit, I guess we need to raise taxes then, right? That way all these people that have money will raise the rates of rent and all that stuff, and it'll go up even more.
No, the money is getting funneled in other places.
I'm gonna say this here. Okay, I don't know everything, but there is still teachers. There's still good teachers that want to teach, and there's still good teachers that teach the right way, that actually give these kids, like, not just hope, but teach them. But
and that's 90% of old school and about 75 to 80% of the new ones.
Yeah. But the thing is, dude, a lot of these kids, because of how many children nowadays that are in elementary and middle school or high school, their parents is not that much fucking older than them. I know this sounds crazy. And get for help, and the child becomes frustrated because nobody at home spends time with them. And then people say, oh, well, everybody's working and this and this and that. Hey man, that may be true, but we have to find that time to sow into our children, to make sure. And if we don't understand, you know what I'm saying, then we have to try to get them some help.
This is all by design. So the poorer kids are getting left behind. The parents who have money to put their kids in a school that's worth a shit, and that's why they're funneling the money out of the schools to make them crumble, to make them fail. It's like, oh, the school is failing.
No, they don't give a shit. All they care is their kid gets a good education. So they're going to spend the money to do it if they have it. I would.
If they have it. If they have it.
So you're saying because they have the money doesn't matter. They shouldn't be able to do better for their children and for their family. They should be dumped in the same shit with everybody else.
No, I'm saying fund the damn schools so that everyone can get a fair chance. It's the school to prison.
They're funding the children. They're not funding the schools.
That's the argument that they're making, and that's bullshit.
No, that's the argument I'm making. The money goes where the kids are. Every single child is getting paid for.
And that's bullshit, because these are going. That's what I'm saying. The kids, the parents that don't have the money to put their kids in those other schools are getting left behind. It's real simple.
Well, okay, you're bitching about that. You keep repeating that, I think 9-10 times now. But why are they getting left behind?
Because of the funding is going to these other schools instead of the public.
What other schools? No, they're not. Per child, they're getting the same amount of money. If they're not using it responsibly,
the parents don't have the money to pay to go to these other schools.
That has